और 41 ऐड करना है और 41 लोग ऐड करना है 50 25 50 क्या डिफरेंस है 50 लोग ये भी थोड़ा हो गया और 41 लोग ऐड करना है इस 6 वालों को ऐड करना मतलब नहीं है वैसे भी बच्चा होगा कोई कंपटीशन भी नहीं रहता मेन तो एक टाइम टेस्ट तो पोस्टर करोगे हाउ टू इस पोस्टर उनके कंपटीशन से पोस्टर पे रहता है ना हाउ टू इस बोल देते हैं एक नहीं एक्चुअली इनका सिंगिंग कंपटीशन का 6 to 10 था मैंने भी काम किया था हाल में बिना तो गई थी लेकिन मैंने डॉक्टर क्या था ये सारे हाँ पीहा तो पीहा खेल रही है जो कुछ सारे दिन आप कभी भी वही कर सकते हैं जाने में अभी अगर वो अरे हम लोग मसले थे उसमें जब हम लोगों ने ग्रुप में गाया था ना तभी अच्छा था सब कुछ एंडिंग में हम लोगों ने गिटार पे किया ना वो दूसरा ने सोलो किया था ना मैंने तो मतलब भी फील करा था ना वो अच्छा था उसके बाद वाले एंडिंग में कितनी खराब थी भाई हाँ और हम लोगों ने ये तो कुछ एंडिंग में स्टार्टिंग में किया था तो प्रैक्टिस होती
जैसे पहले इसमें फिर डांस में एक दिन डांस आउट हो गया तो मेरा तुम लोग अपना डांस करते वो भी कंप्लीट हो सकते था
अरे हाँ ऑलरेडी वो पहले हुई थी तेरी तुम लोगों ने किया था
बजट मुझे
ये होता है तुझे क्या और से कराते हैं इन लोगों की हिस्ट्री बोले ना इन्हें ज्योग्राफी तो कुछ अलग ही चीज है कैसे करेंगे इंग्लिश में और ठीक है ज्योग्राफी इजी नहीं है तो इजी है इंग्लिश इजी है हिंदी भी इजी है ज्योग्राफी का टॉपिक इजी है बाकी सब कुछ इजी है अरे हाँ मुझे भी नहीं है तुझे बीटीएस का आरएम पता है डेक्लेरेशन कॉन्सेप्ट बना रही है बता सब दुनिया का टू बिगली प्रीफर वो पता कौन दे रही है आरएम बीटीएस का डेक्लेरेशन के लिए क्यों वो फिलहाल है अरे उसने 100 मिलियन की सैलरी ली है जिसका बाद में भी कोई सोचती वो भी कलाम का कुछ मैं भूली अभी लेकिन मैं भी सुने वो नहीं सोचती थी जिसका भी इसके नहीं ले रहा है इतना बड़ा कलाम का रिसर्च और अभी लेकिन उसके जो स्पीचर है ना वो सारे पॉडकास्ट वाले हैं तो सामने क्वेश्चन पूछना और वो आंसर देना ऐसा उसका अकेला का कुछ नहीं है मैंने भी देखी लेकिन चलो फिर स्टोरी ले रहे सच्ची में मेरा पूरा फोन मेमोरी बढ़ गया था एक ही साल हुआ फोन ले पूरा मेमोरी बढ़ गया इतने सारे फोन नंबर है मेरे फोन मिलते नहीं है
Shali, yes, completed. पक्का? मैंने रिटर्न दे दिया ना प्रोफेसर लिख रहा तो this is I know you are seeing laborious what is that to whom तुम्हारा मेमोरी तो दिमाग के अंदर है फिर इसको क्यों दिखा रहा है मोबाइल फोन में ऐसा बोलो मेरा मेमोरी दिखा रहा है तो मतलब कैसे है निहारिका you completed no the entire before going you should complete and get the signature if not you are sitting here sit down देखो how beautifully this girl has completed. पूरा sentence आना चाहिए. Okay. Now I'm accepting since just on the pages. Where did I left? Keep reading. Let us continue. ये पूरा sentence. Who was reading? Niharika was reading. Come on, Niharika. Nihali. Oh, Nihali. Come on, Nihali. ठीक है. अभी मैं करेक्शन कर रहा हूँ, कैसे पूरा लिखो. हाँ.
Of no confidence against the counter ministers, they have to resign collectively.
Underline that word, vote of no confidence. Shall I explain what is vote of no confidence? Let us finish reading. I'll explain. Carry on.
Functions of the cabinet.
Okay. Carry on.
Administrative function. Formulates both domestic and external policies of the government involving decisions on matters such as defense, economic policy, security needs, the implementation of policy. It also coordinates the function of various ministries.
Okay, underline coordinates the functions of various ministries. Next.
Legislative functions. These include introduction of bills, source of information, amendment to the constitution, summoning the House of Parliament, President's special address, and issuing ordinances. Financial function. These include budget, finances of.
Underline budget and finance. Hey, you know the difference between budget and finance? Budget means every year we have to present a budget. Normally it is in the month of Feb. And what is finance? We have in fact two accounts of the country. The major finance comes from an account called Consolidated Fund of India. Write down somewhere in the volume. What is Consolidated Fund of India means? It represents the Treasury of India. This is CFI we say. It is Consolidated Fund of India. FI. Fund of India. Consolidated Fund of India. Next.
Emergency functions. It is the cabinet that recommends the president to proclaim emergency.
So if I say the word emergency, did I not give the functions earlier only? Notes mein diya tha na? But that is emergency function of whom? This is emergency function of whom? Prime Minister. Prime Minister. है ना? या cabinet का है? Cabinet का है. Let's see. Read please.
Collective responsibility. Under Article 75 of the Constitution, the Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible to the.
Underline the word collectively responsible. Now, since she is reading it, I'll put that no confidence motion right in your brains. Okay. So whenever we use the word confidence, and what is the other word we are adding? No confidence. What is the difference of meaning does it make?
The negative vote against someone.
Against someone. Who is it someone? It is no other than the Prime Minister himself. Let us understand the situation. So on one side, just one minute. A mosquito entered my mouth. Even they want to come into my body. And this is the fly which is disturbing you. Okay, look at. So when I am using about this no confidence, now it is the Prime Minister who is the leader. No, but it is the maybe one or two ministers in the COM who have made this PM to face which situation. Now here there are two parties. One, the ruling party, correct? And here the opposition party. Now you should watch once at least. I remember 2014-15 when Prime Minister Modi was elected, a no confidence motion was passed and passed by the Congress. And I watched it live, and it was way back in 12:30 midnight. Parliament was functioning, and they have to just ask. The speaker will conduct the no confidence motion. He will say how many say ayes, आइस मतलब वो बड़ा इलेक्ट्रॉनिक बोर्ड में आएगा, ऐसा है. Icse means nothing but it is yes, parliamentary language. And everyone will be saying yeah, and he will be counting. And जितना भी count आएगा directly number. And how many are saying nose? सिर्फ उधर nose का picture भी दिखता है. So this is a no. So now what is this entirely all about? Although the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are entitled for 5 years, but the minister who were supporting the Prime Minister when the session began, some ministers are not happy and they want to move into which party? Opposition party. And now the opposition keeps spinning. You know what is spinning? They are just waiting for the opportunity to pull whose chair? PM chair. And now got the opportunity. So in no confidence matlab not only in India, even recently it has passed in our neighboring country, Pakistan, and Imran Khan is still not ready to accept. Correct? But accept kare na kare, he has been removed. So let us understand this. Abhi ye samjha? So the opposition party will challenge the Prime Minister saying, now you prove the confidence. Confidence where? On the floor of the parliament. Are you understanding? On the floor of the parliament. So now then what the Prime Minister has to say? He has to convey the message to all the ministers who are with his team, first to be present. Correct? And then, very important, voting. Now, for example, 308 ministers are with BJP now, plus some 42 or 41 ministers from the alliance. So it is close to 350. Correct? Out of? It's a very thumping majority. तो ये पोजीशन पे नो कॉन्फिडेंस करेगा तो भी मालूम है कि they will lose. But the 2014 election, I remember with the party close, it was having only 285 seats. 284 or 290, close to 300. Correct? मतलब simple majority से जैसे 20-25 MLA ज़्यादा था उसके पास. And the Congress had the huge record of pulling the legs down. Mrs. Indira Gandhi, when she was the Prime Minister, even she has done it. So the election was held, and the speaker and the other side. In fact, I'll show you the video. You must watch it at least for a few minutes. But then what has happened? BJP came out with the victory. Ayes were a number more and noes were number less. So opposition was squashed. Understood? If at all ayes becomes less, correct? And noes becomes more, what will happen? What will happen? Is passed, said to be passed. So what is happening to the next day? The Prime Minister has to resign. And if he resigns, the Council of Ministers has also to resign because he is your leader. And then President will take over. Now it is the President who will decide. If the country is in a position to take the election, normal time hai, paisa bhi hai, it's okay. But there is not normalcy. We are at war. War के पहले ये हो गया समझो. Either he will continue his rule or he will make for some 6 months or 1 year, president rule will continue. Or there is a third option available. He might invite the second major party. I mean, the first major party, we are not naming any party, is X. The second major party is Y, which is very close to X party. Now X party has been removed in the vote of no confidence. Now Y has to prove its majority. So President will call the leader of that second majority party. He will talk to him. Sir, aisa situation hai. The ruling party has been removed. Now the country is not in a position to go for the elections. I am inviting you to become the Prime Minister of India. But then you have to prove your confidence again in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Although he may be declared within the next 1 or 2 days the Prime Minister of India, but he will be only a standing Prime Minister. You understood standing? Standing मतलब जब तक वो अपना पार्टी का confidence नहीं prove कर देता है, he will be just a Prime Minister. To be very frankly telling to you, whatever is this no confidence, sorry, I cannot use the word drama, political drama, it's a real shame onto the government. Why? The opposition is just waiting. Waiting like what? watchdog. You understand the word watchdog? In fact, we call opposition as the watchdog of the democracy. Even one slight mistake from which party? The ruling party, that every opposition will pounce on it. So this is nothing but vote of no confidence. Understood? Put that heading in your notebook. Meantime, I'll get that small video. You must watch it. Vote of no confidence. We got some future IAS and IPS aspiring students here. Am I correct? So they should know what is this vote of no confidence. Oh, she herself has a 2-1 breakthrough. It is a special session. Right now, introduced in the parliament. Introduced in the parliament. It is the special. Look at that is the entire. Introduced in the parliament by the ruling party over the opposition party. Look at.
By the opposition and the
by the opposition party over the ruling party. Sumitra Mahajan. I forgot just shall we see this and then we'll get into. So look here. Are you seeing it? Eyes, nose, absent, total 451. I mean, did I say rightly? let's see this. Eyes and nose from error speaker. So she was that time Speaker of Lok Sabha. No confidence motion against Modi government. Let us directly take you to the. So he is a BJP show. He is from TV, I think. His accent only speaks. Prastav for voting. Recreation. So this is
like a compliment. So many cartoons.
No, you watch all comedies, you will see it. Are you voting starter? She herself is laughing like that. Sumitra Mahajan. आधे से ज्यादा तो old people है ना, retired people ही है. So these people are walking out. Somebody asked me the position. Look at this is Mr. Rajnath Singh. That time difference even this, and here we are the popular person. And even I personally was watching with great emotions. Modi harna nahi chahiye. And they themselves are in big tension. You should watch the speech after that session. He wins the session.
Now do this.
She is directly replying to the lady, speaker. They are looking at the electronic boards now. Now the voting starts. The sub members who vote come in.
पूरा बताना चाहिए एक चीज लेकिन बंद करो फिर बंद करो
कुछ वोटिंग मशीन में कुछ गड़बड़ है again they will start.
वैसे सब लोग जानते हैं इस वोटिंग सिस्टम को वोटिंग हमारे एसजी मैडम ये जरा आप ये बता दो ना सबको कैसे
But should occupy his
She is reading the rules. How will they vote?
honorable members is invited to the following points in the operation of the automatic vote recording system. Before a division starts, every honorable member should occupy his or her own seat and operate the system from that seat only. When the Honorable Speaker says now division, the Secretary General will activate the voting button whereupon red bulbs above display votes on both sides of Honorable Speaker's chair will glow and a gong sound will be heard simultaneously. For voting,
This lady, remember, she is no
members,
Smith or not. She died. She was an external reference, very popular minister.
simultaneously only after the sound of the gong. And I repeat, only after the sound of the gong. A red vote button in front of every honorable member on the headphone plate and any one of the following buttons fixed on the top of desk of seat. Eyes, green color, nose, red color, abstain, yellow color. It is essential to keep both the buttons pressed till another gong is heard and the red bulbs above plasma display are off. Honorable members, may please note that their votes will not be registered. One, if buttons are kept pressed before the first gong. And two, both buttons are not kept simultaneously pressed till second gong. Honorable members can actually see their vote on display boards installed on either side of Honorable Speaker's chair.
Look at the facial expression of the ministers.
Screens fixed on parapet on either side of the public gallery. In case vote is not registered, they may call for voting through slips. Thank you.
Now the question is that this house expresses its want of confidence in the Council of Ministers. Those in favor may say aye, those against may say no. Now the division.
And abstain, nobody is abstaining. No one is doing the vote. So those means they are against the no confidence motion. Ayes means they are with the no confidence motion. It's okay. So yes, one comfortably. 325 people are saying we don't want the no confidence motion. Tomorrow, when I was working on how to speak that one mosquito. Now she will again say till the speaker doesn't say they can't hear. Just your speaker and दूसरा long जाएगा then. इसमें enter है.
So no habit, motion is negative. Now, login may be open. Login may be open. Now the house stands scheduled to meet on Monday, the 23rd July 2018 at 11 a.m.
So she said the motion has been rejected. Wait, and then you listen to what Modi said after this.
जय पराजय का फैसला नहीं हुआ क्योंकि को यहाँ पहुंचने की उत्साह है
Rahul Gandhi comes near to him. He gives him a hug and wink, isn't it?
यहाँ कोई उठा सकता है न बिठा सकता है 125 करोड़ देशवासी लोकतंत्र में जनता पे भरोसा होना चाहिए इसलिए जनता
You look at the face of this one.
अहंकारी है जो कहता है हम खड़े होंगे राम लोग 15 मिनट तक खड़े नहीं होंगे
ठीक है. At least you understood what is that no confidence motion and how it is passed. So if no's are more, no's are more means it is rejected. If ayes are more, the no confidence is passed. Let me start writing by the ruling party over the by the opposition party over the ruling party. Second point, it is the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. It is the Speaker of the Lok Sabha who conducts. It is the Speaker of Lok Sabha who conducts the no confidence motion impartially. Who conducts the no confidence motion impartially. Once the maximum number votes against, if the once the maximum number of MPs votes against the motion hyphen bracket में क्या लिखने का no's or ayes no's NOSE. Don't forget all this. Maybe in future you are sitting in parliament. No, NOES though. I'm so sorry. NOES no's. Then the confidence motion then the motion is said to be rejected. Next. But if the ayes are more, ayes के लिए वो वही spelling था ना EYIES. I'm so sorry. AYIES. मतलब SC है उसके सामने ये डालते हैं लोग. I's are more hyphen saying that majority member goes with the no confidence motion. Had gone with the no confidence motion. Majority members had gone with the no confidence motion. Full stop. Change the para. Then the motion is said to be passed. And Prime Minister, then the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers are forced to resign. Full stop. President may take over the administration and declare for the fresh election. And declares for the fresh election. If at all they'll ask you what is no confidence motion, थोड़ा short में लिखना. समझ में आया? At least after seeing this video, you will understand what kind of mimicry or mockery goes on inside the parliament. Okay, chaliye. I think almost done. Is there any part we have not done from this chapter? Terms of office. You just finish reading, then we'll directly get into a new chapter from history. Sam, you start reading. Where she left.
The principle of collective responsibility implies that the decisions taken in the meetings of the cabinet are equally applicable to all the ministers, even though they may differ among themselves on a particular policy. All ministers jointly share the responsibility for the government's policies and performance. A vote of no confidence against one minister is a vote against the whole ministry. Such a ministry that has lost the confidence of the Lok Sabha has to resign.
Yes. Next.
Individual responsibility. The ministers are individually responsible to the president. That is, they hold office during the pleasure of the president as may be dismissed by him. Of course, on the advice of the Prime Minister. Each minister is answerable to the Parliament for the department under his control. It is obligatory for him to answer all questions asked by the MP regarding the functioning of his department.
Okay. Done?
The next is this.
Listen, where are you reading? Achha, you are doing the distinguish only. Here only, na?
Page number 203.
Achha. So individual and collective, I will tell you. Now we are inside the class. Everyone is individually responsible to submit the homework. At the same time, you are collectively responsible to attend my lectures. Even I am a part of your responsibility, but I share a collective responsibility. Are you understanding what I am saying? So every minister from either cabinet, MOAs or the deputy has to have the individual as well as collective. Collective means COM. Individual means it is a subject which is given to him. Now he is from the opposition and she is from the ruling. Anytime he has the every part to ask from her, but the questions he cannot directly address to her. Why? He has to address the question to the madam or the speaker. And whatever he says, the speaker will say, oh, there is a question from the minister. You answer him. Neither she is directly answerable to him. Again, the questions will be addressed to the speaker. Like all your discussions, debates, whatever you do, everything you have to address it to the speaker only. Why is it so? Why you both cannot बोलेंगे काम कर तू कैंटीन में मैं तुझे समझा दे. That's not going to happen. And there may be clashes also. Who are you to ask me? I am no answerable to you. No. Inside the parliament, everyone is equal. Even the Prime Minister has to stand up and answer. He can take the names of the minister. Yes, San has asked me this question, I am answering for her. Arya has asked me this question, I am answering for her. But the question will be addressed to the chair answer will also be addressed to the chair. So here they are both individual and collective. Therefore, I don't know whether you are inside the school or whether you are inside the class. You maintain basic discipline. I don't want extraordinary, but basic. What does this show? That you share both collective as well as individual. It is same as a minister. Done. Now let us go to the question answers. I think these are both easy here. Today we have spent good deal of time in this chapter. If not, I could have started. Homework could have been done, completed. Can you complete all the question answers of this chapter? Any question you want me to? Any question? Now only you can ask me. There collective responsibility of the individual responsibility. Now only we have done that. Whatever points you are writing for the collective minister, similar points you write for the what do you call it? Individual also. If you are writing 5 points for collective, don't write only 2 points for individual. समझ में आया मैं क्या बोल रहा है? Guys, are you picking up what I'm saying? So you similar to that. So shall we get into history chapter? Which one? Question number 5 it is. What is it? What? Achha. State the cabinet's role in the formulation of policies of the government. You want me to give this answer to you right now? Okay, write down the answer. Then I don't think we'll have the time for it. I want to at least introduce the chapter to you. Role of cabinet. Answer. Into the decision making. Of the government is of vital importance, is of vital, VITAL, is of vital importance as listed below. Point number 1. It is the cabinet is the most important policy framing body. It is the most important policy framing body, and it is its major function. And it is its major function. Second, it forms both domestic and external policies. It forms both domestic and external policies of the government. Domestic and external policies of the government. Next. Although President appoints several ministers, it is on the advice of the PM alone. It is on the advice of the PM alone. Next. It is the cabinet which coordinates the major decisions of the government and decides upon even the decides upon the whole expenditures of the government and also raising necessary revenues for the same. And also raising the necessary revenues for the same. समझा? कितना expenditure होगा और कहाँ से वो पैसे आएगा? That also deputy cabinet will say. And raising for the same. Now check this answer and tell me. Shall we? Okay, thank you. So let's go into the very important history chapter. Put that ready. First phase of INC. Am I correct? And the formation of INC. Formation of National Congress. What is the idea?
Fourth piece of the national.
And formation also there, na? Formation here. Okay. First phase of INC. So write that reading. And it is from 1885, correct? To not 5. Second phase वहाँ से start होगा. 1905. You'll just understand. I'll introduce, then we will get into the chapters. In fact, give me a textbook. Textbook. Now look here. Now, in fact, there are 3 chapters which goes a combo like pack. You understand combo? First phase, second phase, and third phase. First phase is between 1885. You remember 1885? Who formed it? Wonderful. That was after form. I didn't explain that. Just understand. So it was a British retired. Then also you guys are not answering. I explained so many things. Servant. It was in the year 1885. His name was Alan Octavian Hume. Now I really found out from certain sources. I keep saying British retired. So from where? He was from Manipur. He was from Manipur. You understand that? He was working as I think some mayor or some in Manipur only. And if I might have explained, I saw why did a British fellow? I said there was tensions in the minds of whom? Educated Indians. Against whom? Against the British. So the theory put forward this fellow is in fact called as Vent theory. What is the meaning of the Vent theory? If I have shown you Vent mein ye kya hai? What is this? Volcano. These are lava, correct? And this is that molten magma. And this is nothing but in geography you might have studied something called as this is vent. What does it mean? A path through which it is throwing out the heated one. Then I might have given you some other word also, if you remember my notes carefully. It acts as a weight valve. What is weight valve? Weight valve you don't know. Everyone have seen a pressure cooker at your house? What is a pressure cooker? Nihari will tell me. Niharika. Nihali only. Come on Nihali, have you seen a pressure cooker? What is that weight valve according to you? You never seen a pressure cooker? You have, but you have seen how it works. What is the weight valve? Yes, Arya? Yes, you? I didn't get you.
Hindi I know the word. English I know.
Acha, okay, let's. What is that thing? You said then that pressure cooker. That is weight valve only. When does it lifts?
When the pressure is high.
If that weight valve doesn't lift, what will happen?
The pressure is low.
It will blast. You understand the meaning of the blast? Sir. Oh, दूसरा blast है ये दूसरा blast. Sorry, yesterday we had a party in our building. Huh? We had a blast. We are not worried about that blast. We are worried about which blast? A pressure cooker blast. Did not British government experience something called as 1857? They wanted to, prevent such a blast. So now I will say this period is called period of moderates. Don't write anything, just understand. If I tell you the word period of moderates, right? It's so simple to tell you. They believed in the way of constitutional method. Writing. In fact, if I tell you correctly, their demands were generally, I was explaining there only, I don't know which branch, they were pro-British demands. You know what is pro-British? They do not want to anger the British government by putting their demands. In fact, they said openly that we are your loyalists. You understand the word loyalist? We are your loyalists only. So the first Congress session under whose leadership? Banerjee, correct. Where it was? In Bombay. How many? 79. In fact, they openly said, here we are sitting and meeting. We are just discussing. And we'll just request to you. Maybe in future we'll write petitions. But don't think that we are your enemy. Don't think that we are going to fight against you. Don't think that we are going to agitate against you. अगर ऐसा आप सामने वाले को बोलेगा, do you think the British government is going to leave? So initially Britishers were very happy. Oh, whatever we have made the INC, it is going for that only. But then what happens with the slow and steady, more and more members coming in. More and members are with a little bit of the young blood coming in. The period of moderates getting into period of extremists. Now, how do I explain that word extremists different from moderates? Any idea?
The moderates were different. They were, and what was the second one?
Extremists.
The extremists, they wanted the freedom in a very quick way, in a short time. But these are believing no hurry. Why do you think these moderates adopted such policy? One, they were educated. They were having a good position, both in the society and both with the British. Although they want to agitate, but there is no urgency. You know what is urgency? When you have not eaten food for the whole day, then you know even one glass of water or one vada pav, how it is important for you. Every half an hour I am filling my stomach and then I am getting a huge feast. Do you think I will be eating it in a gobbling manner? Half of the Indians were dying. More than 50% of the people were in the, what do you call it? Famines. You know what are famines? Sukha. And there are certain popular pictures. Today I won't run the videos, maybe next lecture I'll do it. Let the other people also come. Indians were looking more like the Somalian citizens. Have you heard about called Somalia? Where people are not even getting wheat, they get only barley. You know what is barley? Now also it's a very poor country in Africa. On one side our Indian people are dying, on the other side these elite people are only sitting and discussing and then moving on. But then they have never seen what is poverty. They have not experienced the beatings from the British. They were not thrown out of the office by the British government. They were not treated like zamindar or any. They themselves were landlords in the country. Do you think they will have any pretty angry on British? That he is. Discuss that. But then the importance of the moderates is too good. What do you think? This period of moderates was also important. They made the people aware how to fight with the British. They made at least a social consciousness. You know what is social consciousness? That if you want to overthrow this government, we have to go on these methods. Like a majority of the leaders were old. I'll show you. And every leader have their own view. What is that view? No hurry. Don't make the British angry. If you make the British angry, they will not leave India. Let us try to convince them. But do you think if only the period of moderates might have done, we could have achieved independence only till 1947? Maybe more 200 years? No. So it was a collective effort of whom? Both the moderates, extremists, and then we have revolutionaries. Revolutionaries, Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Rajguru, Sukhdev. They said, we will snatch the freedom from your throat. Do you think the moderates might have said all that? Sir, we request you, sir. There is some problem, sir. Why don't we look into the problem? And if that petition is not replied for the next 15 days or 1 month, again these people are going to get angry. Again they will sit. Again they will have a meeting and one more petition. Go. But then they have their method of fighting. The second phase where I'll be teaching period of extremism, they have their method of fighting. So this entire chapter deals with only one thing. First, it is the phase at which we call it as the first phase. What is first phase? Where several elite people came together, where several moderate thinking people came together, where there were series of discussion, where there were series of debates. But then what was the end result of the discussions and debates? It's only the petitions. We can't say completely they were wrong, but I can say they were completely right also. आप बोलेंगे कह रहे सर दोनों साइड से उनका तारीफ कर रहे हैं है ना? But then these people have laid the foundation of which struggle in India? Freedom struggle. Today, however, this Modi government keeps discriminating in Congress, but then soon after independence, who took over? Congress only. But to be very frank, that time the ministers were different. We did not have the wonderful Raga who is doing all kinds of. Even today, there are some good Congress ministers who have dedicated almost half of their life to the Congress. But then, problem kya hai? Sir, dynastic politics. What is this dynastic? तुरंत मैंने बोला अच्छा ऐसा बोलो और सुनने का नहीं करके dynastic बोल दिया. The only qualification Rahul Gandhi has, the word Gandhi attached to his name. If you ask to anybody, if I remove Gandhi from him, sorry sir, I will not keep as my office helper. You might be talented, qualified, but for making BJP come down to what it was earlier, only 3 seats in Lok Sabha. Today they are close to 400 seats. It is not BJP becoming very strong, but who is becoming weak? Congress. But then we have to worship this Congress. We have to worship the leaders. We have to worship their immaculate strength. What is immaculate? Never say die. What is the word never say die? Sir, kal exam hai, but aaj hi maine chapter khola, but till the whole night I will sit. May come what come. May come whatever happens, I am not going to sleep. This is what I have done during my school days. Exactly start my studies by 11:30 or 12 in the night. My exams are 8:30. I will be studying exactly up till 7. Half an hour dose and then get up, take a bath and then run up. And the next 6 or 9 days, this is my routine. And to be very frank with you, the last exam, I can't even sit and write. My eyes becomes red hot, watery, and my class teacher knows it. And she'll come around and say, Kya hua? And then the last paper comes and then I doze off. I will not get up at least for the next one whole day. Because I've been doing this. So I am giving my reference because these are those people who have really made the extremists to come forward. Abhi hamne foundation hi nahi rakhta. Do you think this extremists might have joined INC? Okay. So look at the leaders who are representing here. So we have to study first the works of the early nationalists. So the first person we'll be studying is Dadabhai Naoroji. Then we'll be studying G.K. Gokhale. Then we'll be studying one more person. I think W. Surendranath Banerjee. Only 3 persons. This entire chapter, only we are going to study only one thing. Only the objectives and methods and the contributions of these 3 leaders. Very short and sweet chapter. Did you understand? Still, shall I put more explanation? We got good 7 minutes to go. Shall we write only small lines of intro? So that when we meet next time, at least ये याद रहेगा सर ने ये start कर दिया, है ना? चलिए, that's right. So let your all friends come. I'll put more explanation in a more detailed manner. Got it? So these 3 chapters I'll do together so that next time you should not forget. Write up. The first phase of INC. The first phase of INC marks the beginning of which book did he give? The very foundation of the entire freedom struggle in India. Next. The history of INC can be broadly divided into. The history of INC can be broadly divided into 3 main phases. 3 main phases. I'm writing it separately. So you write 1, or you can write first stage like this also. First stage, early nationalist phase. Early nationalist phase. That is first stage. That's between 1885 to 1907. Then second stage, write exactly the way I'm writing it. Okay. It is the assertive phase. The assertive. It is again, they'll pull you back to 1905. Oh, it is 1907 to 1916. And then the third stage. It is the Gandhian era. So here comes our main national hero. It is from 1915 to 1947. Bardoli Satyagraha, he comes in. 1915 to 1947. You can pack your bags and coolly go for your homes. Here it is. Show it to me. You pack your bags and come out. I'm there. Okay. What's it? Oh, I'll take it here only. Yeah, you pack your bag. Go there. My dear boy, handwriting. I can't really expect you. Oh, so sorry. Show me what else. Bring it. Nihali, is it? Nihali. Kutum Nihali to me. ये ऐसा मैं अलाउ नहीं करेगा अभी आज करेक्शन कर रहा हूँ ठीक है you have to write full sentences what else so tell all your friends who are missing my lecture today that they must complete it if not I'm not going to entertain them in my next lecture So what is pending? What is pending? ओए notebook is pending.
It's completed.
हाँ मतलब क्या है? How do I know it is completed? Bring it by next lecture. Thank you and good night. Okay.
Math झालं TVS माझा मराठीच राहिला